Hey, I forget, let's see, 1981, 1982, I was joined the Young Republicans and have been a Young Republican ever since then. And I will never cease to be a Young Republican. I will tell you, however, that I do look out for the senior citizens in the Commonwealth of Virginia, because someday I aspire to be one. But until such time, I will continue to be as young as I feel. Thank you all for the great work that you do. Without you in these races year after year, we would not be able to have success. So I appreciate the enthusiasm that comes from your rank and the leadership that you show. I was born in Chesterfield County. The very first subdivision built there was built for returning Korean War veterans. I was born into a family of 8 children, 10 including my mom and dad. Very few of you know anything about such large families, do you? But when I was, but you clap. You're from a large family, right? Well, look, I was raised on a farm in Mecklenburg County. My father ran a small business that was a subcontracting firm. And he decided that it was important for him to start planting churches across Southside Virginia. And so we farmed for food. So I became a young farm boy. As a senior in high school, I decided to go off to an academy in Lynchburg and to work to pay my way through my senior year there, because my family did not have the means to do it for me. It was a very profitable experience for me. But while I was there, my dad passed away. And I found it necessary to come home and go to work to help provide for my mother, who had not worked outside the home in 23 years, and my 5 younger sisters. And in doing so, I had leadership experience that I would have never thought before. I worked for a while in the construction industry, but I, about 29 years ago, went in the insurance business and have been so since then. About 26 years ago, I was asked to run for the House of Delegates against an entrenched incumbent. I had come into the political arena for one particular issue, I mean, on the life side of things, on the importance of life. However, I came into the electoral position because of tax and spending issues. My predecessor had voted for 8 tax increases just that year before. I've got a solid record of the last quarter century on fiscal policy, limited government, free enterprise, competitive markets, competition in the marketplace, individual liberty with an insistence on personal responsibility. I happen to believe that the messages of faith, family, and freedom and the messages of hope, growth, and opportunity follow each other like night follows day. You are not going to have hope, growth, and opportunity unless you have strong families, faith, and freedom within our communities across the Commonwealth and across this nation. In 1991, I was identified as being one of the faithful 5 that stood against Belials and Wowers in their tax and spend and expansion of government efforts. But more recently, Mark Ovenstein and I and Ken Cuccinelli were 3 of the folks named by the Richmond Times-Dispatch as the faithful 5 in the Senate, standing against the more recent efforts to tax and spend and expand government at your expense. You will know me as the guy who wrote the 2 sentences that became the Health Care Freedom Act that Ken Cuccinelli took to the Supreme Court. I'm the guy that wrote the law with Mark's help, Senate Bill, and got Senate Bill 1 passed. It requires that you show your IDs at the poll. It seems to me as if I may be running out of time, if not having run out of time. All right, but in any event, because I don't even know how much time I have, but in any event, thank God, more recently we have got photo ID required. I'll just simply say this, that we need to make sure we know who's voting at the polls. The electoral process is of critical importance. I am prepared to do the job. I have the experience. I do not need on-the-job training. You can look at my quarter century of a record, which I was introduced one day as having provided a generation of leadership. I said, are you trying to call me old? But you can look at that quarter century record and know how I'm going to conduct myself. There are 2 jobs that the Lieutenant Governor has, and that is to preside over the Senate and to check on the health of the governor. Checking on the health of the governor is to step in and do his job when he cannot do it. You can count on me to do the job, and I would look for your support. If you can't vote for me on the first ballot, I would ask that you do so on the second ballot. And if you want to reach me, you can do through SenatorSteveMartin.com. Through SenatorSteveMartin.com. You can reach me by email at steve@SenatorSteveMartin.com. Thank you very much.